And I'm going to draw your attention to this pillar, because on that pillar are rock engravings.
I can't believe what we're seeing, and we're seeing scratch marks, sort of what you call petroglyphs, which are pictures or carvings carved into rock. But look at the scale of these things.
I was the first human in all of history to recognize another species' symbols.
Now we know that neither were we exceptional in that brain. The brain doesn't make us whatever it is we are. We now see Homo naledi doing the things that we held as the only thing we had left 250,000 years ago.
This may not be true. Let me explain. In 2013, archaeologist Lee Berger and his team discovered the fossil remains of a new human ancestor in the Rising Star cave system in South Africa. They named this new hominin Homo naledi. In 2022, during further excavations of the cave system, the team noticed what they thought were engravings on a pillar near the entrance to one of the subchambers at the back of the cave. Barely a year later, in 2023, the team published their hypothesis in a controversial new scientific journal that allowed them to make the text available online before completing the traditional peer review process. Within weeks, Berger followed the article up with a book, a Netflix documentary, and a series of well-attended lectures, probably generating a non-zero amount of profit, or at least cultural capital. But as Berger's colleagues have pointed out, including the article's original peer reviewers, the so-called engravings happen to look exactly like the sort of elephant skin weathering that occurs naturally on the surface of the mineral dolomite when it's been exposed to the elements for long periods of time. And according to a paper published by Berger's resident geologist, the entire Rising Star cave system, including the supposedly engraved pillar, is conveniently made from dolomitic limestone. Plus, even if they were engravings, it's simply not possible to say right now that these markings were made by Homo naledi. According to Berger, his research suggests that no modern humans have ever made it as far back into the cave system as the engraved pillar before his own excavations. But the Rising Star caves have been a popular spelunking spot for decades. Miners are even known to have prospected in the area at some point looking for limestone. There's simply no way of saying that these scratch marks weren't made by an understimulated caver in 1963. And this is to say nothing of the fact that Berger and his team haven't even attempted any absolute dating methods here. It's unlikely, but for all we know, those scratches could be less than 5 years old. Or even made by an animal. None of this means I don't want Berger's claims to be true. Archaeologists have been reshaping traditional narratives of human cognitive evolution for years. Recently, in Sulawesi, an ochre painting of a warty pig was dated to 45,000 years ago using uranium series techniques. In Blombos Cave in South Africa, not too far from Rising Star itself, researchers have also provided evidence suggesting that a silkreed flake, decorated with abstract cross-hatching designs, is more than 70,000 years old. If those marks at Rising Star really do represent engravings made by Homo naledi, they would make a fascinating addition to the timeline of human evolution. It could potentially mean that our human cousins were also capable of art, and that would totally reframe the way we perceive difference and human exceptionalism. But the point is that there are other possibilities here. It's okay to have hypotheses, but nothing should be said with any certainty. What Berger is doing is convenient for click-throughs, but it's irresponsible. He's cheating all of us, including himself, of higher quality knowledge in the long run.